The enigmatic ultimatum. The first sign that humanity was no longer alone in the universe came not with a bang, but with a flicker. On a crisp autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, every screen on Earth, from smartphones to Times Square billboards, blinked in perfect unison. For a fraction of a second, billions of people worldwide saw the same image, a stark, alien symbol resembling a spiral galaxy crossed with an hourglass. In mission control centers and military bunkers across the globe, alarms blared. Satellites reported massive energy signatures at the edge of the solar system, beyond the orbit of Neptune. Within hours, astronomers confirmed what governments feared. An armada of colossal ships had appeared, seemingly out of nowhere. Panic spread like wildfire. Social media exploded with theories, from alien invasion to divine intervention. As the world teetered on the brink of chaos, the alien fleet remained silent and motionless, a sword of Damocles hanging over humanity. Then, precisely 24 hours after their arrival, they spoke. The message came simultaneously through every communication device on the planet, in perfect renditions of each local language. Humans of Earth, heed our warning. Your world is forbidden. Venture not beyond your cradle, lest you unleash that which cannot be contained. We are the guardians, and we have spoken. The broadcast ended as abruptly as it began, leaving a stunned planet in its wake. In Washington, D.C., President Evelyn Crawford stared at the ceiling of the Situation Room, her face a mask of tension. Options, people. I need options. The Joint Chiefs shuffled uncomfortably. It was the Secretary of Defense who finally spoke. Madam President, our entire nuclear arsenal wouldn't scratch the paint on those ships. We're outmatched. Crawford's eyes narrowed. So we just roll over. Accept house arrest on our own planet. A voice from the back of the room cut through the tension. Maybe we're asking the wrong questions. All heads turned to Dr. Samantha Chen, a petite woman with sharp eyes behind thick-rimmed glasses. The xenolinguist had been hastily brought in from MIT, her expertise suddenly the most valuable commodity on Earth. Dr. Chen, Crawford said, you have the floor. Samantha stepped forward, her tablet clutched to her chest like a shield. The message isn't a threat, it's a warning. They called themselves guardians, not conquerors. And that bit about unleashing something, they're scared of something, and it's here on Earth. The room erupted in murmurs. Crawford leaned forward, intrigued. Go on. There's more, Samantha continued, her fingers dancing across her tablet. The transmission wasn't just audio. There was a complex data stream embedded within it. Patterns I'd never seen before, but they're beautiful. She projected a series of intricate, flowing symbols onto the room's main screen. They seemed to shift and dance, almost alive. It's a language, Samantha breathed, her eyes alight with discovery. But not just any language. It's like the DNA of communication itself. The president stood, her decision made. Dr. Chen, I'm putting you in charge of a new task force. Your job is to decode that message and figure out what the hell these guardians are so afraid of. You'll have unlimited resources. Whatever you need, you get. Clear? Samantha nodded, a mix of excitement and terror coursing through her veins. As the meeting adjourned, the Secretary of State approached Crawford. Madam President, the UN Security Council is demanding an emergency session. The Chinese are threatening to launch their own space mission in defiance of the warning. And Russia. Crawford held up a hand, silencing him. Tell them all to sit tight. We have our best people on this. She cast a glance at Samantha, who was already lost in her work. At least, I hope we do. Meanwhile, in a small apartment in Brooklyn, Jake Foster watched the world unravel on his battered TV. Unlike the panicking masses, a slow smile spread across his face. He flexed his hand, watching with fascination as faint blue lines traced beneath his skin. A new development since the aliens' arrival. About damn time, he muttered, reaching for his phone. Hey Zeke. Yeah, it's happening. Get the crew together. Things are about to get interesting. Back in Washington, Samantha had commandeered a vast room in the Pentagon, its walls now covered in alien symbols and complex equations. She stood before it all, her mind racing. It's not just a warning, she murmured to herself. It's a key. But to what? As if in answer, her tablet pinged. A news alert showed footage of a massive structure emerging from the depths of the Pacific Ocean, its alien architecture unmistakable. Samantha's eyes widened. She turned back to the symbols, seeing them with new clarity. "Oh my God," she whispered. "We're not trapped on Earth. Earth is the trap." In orbit, aboard the International Space Station, astronaut Michael Patel pressed his face against the cupola window, staring at the distant alien fleet. His radio crackled to life. "ISS, this is Houston. We're getting some strange readings from your location. Can you confirm?" Michael opened his mouth to respond, but the words died in his throat. A shimmering field of energy was spreading from the alien ships, racing towards Earth like a silent tidal wave. "Houston," he managed, his voice barely a whisper, "we have a situation." The energy field washed over the planet in seconds. On the surface, few noticed anything amiss, but in secret bases and hidden laboratories around the world, long-dormant machines hummed to life. In Antarctica, deep beneath the ice, something ancient stirred. As night fell over a world forever changed, humanity teetered on the precipice of a truth too vast to comprehend. The Guardian's warning was not the end. It was only the beginning. Dr. Samantha Chen, surrounded by the enigmatic alien script, felt the weight of discovery pressing down on her. She knew, with a certainty that chilled her to her core, that the fate of humanity now rested on her ability to unravel this cosmic mystery. As she worked through the night, the symbols seeming to whisper ancient secrets, a realization dawned. The aliens hadn't come to conquer Earth. They had come to contain it. Pandora's planet. Dr. Samantha Chen's eyes burned from staring at screens for hours on end, but she couldn't stop. The alien symbols danced before her, tantalizingly close to revealing their secrets. Her small team of linguists and cryptographers worked feverishly around her in the makeshift command center. "Dr. Chen," the voice called out. It was Alex Roth, a prodigy in quantum computing. "I think we've got something." Samantha hurried over, her heart racing. On Alex's screen, a complex 3D model rotated slowly, alien glyphs arranged in concentric spheres. "It's not just a language," Alex explained, eyes wide with excitement. "It's a key to a multi-dimensional lock. And if I'm right, that lock is Earth itself," Samantha finished, the pieces finally falling into place. Before they could celebrate their breakthrough, alarms blared throughout the facility. General Harriet Cho burst into the room, her face grim. "We've got a situation," she announced. "Multiple structures are emerging worldwide. We need answers, now." Samantha nodded, her mind racing. "General, I think Earth is some kind of vault. These structures, they must be access points." "Access points to what?" Cho demanded. Samantha's reply was cut short by a deafening rumble. The ground beneath them shook violently, sending equipment crashing to the floor. As quickly as it began, the tremor subsided. "We need to get out there," Samantha said, already heading for the door. "Whatever's happening, the answers aren't in here." Hours later, Samantha found herself on a military transport, flying low over the Amazon rainforest. Reports had come in of a massive structure emerging from the dense jungle canopy. As they approached, she gasped. Rising from the trees was a colossal pyramid, its surface a seamless blend of metal and stone. Strange symbols, eerily similar to those in the alien transmission, pulsed with an inner light along its sides. As the team set up a perimeter, Samantha approached the structure cautiously. She reached out, her fingers trembling, and touched the smooth surface. The effect was immediate and staggering. Images flooded her mind. Stars exploding into life, civilizations rising and falling, and terrible weapons capable of unmaking reality itself. She stumbled back, overwhelmed. Dr. Chen. General Cho's voice snapped her back to the present. Are you all right? Samantha nodded weakly. It's a repository, she managed. Not just of technology, but of knowledge. The history of the universe itself. Cho's reply was drowned out by the sudden whine of engines. A sleek, black aircraft appeared overhead, hovering impossibly. Before anyone could react, a group of figures descended on zip lines. Leading them was a man Samantha recognized from intelligence briefings, Jake Foster, ex-military turned mercenary. But there was something different about him now. His eyes glowed with an unnatural blue light, and he moved with inhuman grace. Ladies and gentlemen, he called out, his voice carrying an odd resonance. I'm afraid this is a private party. Cho's security team raised their weapons, but Foster merely smiled. With a wave of his hand, an invisible force sent them flying backward. How? Samantha breathed, shocked. Foster turned to her, his expression almost gentle. The gift of the Guardians, Dr. Chen. Or should I say, the gift they tried to keep from us. He gestured to the pyramid. This is our birthright, and we're here to claim it. Before Samantha could respond, Foster's team had breached the pyramid. Strange energies crackled around the entrance they'd somehow created. Stop, Samantha called out. You don't know what you're doing. Foster paused at the threshold. On the contrary, Doctor, for the first time in human history, we know exactly what we're doing. With that, he disappeared into the structure. The next few hours were a blur of activity. More military personnel arrived, setting up a quarantine zone around the pyramid. Samantha worked tirelessly, trying to decipher the symbols and understand the flashes of knowledge she'd received. As night fell, a brilliant beam of energy shot from the top of the pyramid into the sky. Similar beams appeared worldwide, converging at a point in orbit. My God, General Cho whispered, staring at satellite imagery. They're creating some kind of network. Samantha's tablet pinged with an incoming transmission. Her blood ran cold as she recognized the alien script. It's the Guardians, she said. They're telling us to stand down. They say they're sending in containment units. Cho's face hardened. Like hell they are. This is our planet. As if in response to humanity's defiance, the alien fleet began to move. Massive ships entered Earth's atmosphere, heading towards the activated structures. In the Amazon, Foster and his team emerged from the pyramid, each of them transformed. They crackled with energy, their eyes shining with the knowledge of ages. Dr. Chen, Foster called out, his voice echoing strangely. It's time for you to make a choice. Stand with humanity as we claim our place in the cosmos, or stand aside. Samantha looked from Foster to the approaching alien ships, her mind reeling. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and she held a piece of the puzzle. In that moment, as chaos erupted around her, Samantha made her decision. She raced towards the pyramid, ducking under the arms of a startled guard. Dr. Chen, Cho yelled. What are you doing? Samantha paused at the entrance Foster's team had created. Finding answers, she replied, and stepped into the unknown. The interior of the pyramid was a maze of pulsing light and shifting geometries. Samantha felt knowledge pressing against her mind, threatening to overwhelm her. But she pushed forward, drawn by an inexorable pull towards the heart of the structure. As she reached the central chamber, she saw it, a swirling vortex of energy. At its center, a small, unassuming cube. Somehow, she knew this was the key to everything. With trembling hands, she reached for the cube. As her fingers closed around it, the universe seemed to hold its breath. Knowledge flooded her mind, but this time she was ready for it. She saw the truth of Earth's purpose, the reason for the Guardian's warning, and the terrible power humanity had stumbled upon. Earth wasn't just a vault. It was a failsafe, a reset button for reality itself. And now, that power was in her hands. Outside, Foster and his enhanced humans clashed with the first wave of Guardian forces. Energy weapons lit up the night sky as the battle for Earth's destiny began in earnest. In orbit, The network created by the activated structures pulsed with growing power. It was a signal, broadcasting across the galaxy, awakening things long dormant. And deep beneath the Antarctic ice, something ancient and terrible stirred, sensing that its time had finally come. As the world erupted into chaos, Dr. Samantha Chen stood at the heart of the pyramid, the weight of the cosmos pressing down on her. She had found the answers she sought, but they had only led to larger, more terrifying questions. The true nature of humanity's role in the universe was about to be revealed, and nothing would ever be the same. Evolution unchained. The world watched in awe and terror as humanity's potential was unleashed. The activation of Earth's hidden structures had triggered a cascade effect, awakening dormant genes within the human population. People across the globe began manifesting extraordinary abilities, their DNA rewriting itself in real time. Dr. Samantha Chen stumbled out of the Amazon pyramid, her mind reeling from the cosmic knowledge she'd absorbed. In her hands, she clutched the small cube, the key to Earth's true purpose. As she emerged, she was met with a scene of chaos. Jake Foster and his enhanced team were locked in combat with the first wave of Guardian forces. Energy beams crisscrossed the sky, and the very fabric of reality seemed to warp around the combatants. "Dr. Chen," General Cho called out, taking cover behind an overturned vehicle. "What the hell is happening?" Samantha's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as she processed the information flooding her consciousness. "We've activated a failsafe," she said, her voice resonating strangely. Earth is a reset button for the universe, and we're the finger on the trigger." Before Cho could respond, a massive tremor shook the ground. Miles away, a fissure opened in the earth, revealing a network of glowing veins pulsing with energy. "It's spreading," Samantha whispered. "The planet is waking up." In cities around the world, panic gave way to wonder as ordinary people discovered extraordinary gifts. A firefighter in New York found himself immune to flames, walking through an inferno to rescue trapped civilians. In Tokyo, a young student's thoughts became reality, her drawings leaping off the page into three-dimensional life. But for every miraculous transformation, there were those who couldn't handle the change. Hospitals were overwhelmed with people driven to madness by their newfound abilities, their minds unable to cope with the sudden expansion of consciousness. At the United Nations, an emergency session devolved into chaos as delegates spontaneously developed powers, their arguments literally shaking the foundations of the building. Amidst the global upheaval, world leaders turned to the only person who seemed to have answers. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself addressing the hastily assembled Council of Nations, the cosmic cube humming softly in her hands. "What we're experiencing is not an invasion," she explained, her words broadcast to billions. "It's an awakening. Earth has always been special, a crucible for potential locked away eons ago. The Guardians weren't our jailers. They were protecting the galaxy from us." A murmur ran through the assembly. The Russian president, his eyes now a swirling vortex of stars, spoke up. "Then we should use this power, push back against these Guardians, and take our place in the cosmos." Samantha shook her head. "It's not that simple. This power, it's not just ours. We're connected to something vast, something that spans universes. If we're not careful, we could unravel the very fabric of reality." As she spoke, reports flooded in from around the globe. The enhanced humans, led by Jake Foster, had begun raiding research facilities and military installations. They were gathering technology, combining it with their new abilities to create weapons of unimaginable power. In orbit, the Guardian fleet hung motionless, as if uncertain how to proceed. Their warning had gone unheeded, and now they faced a humanity evolving beyond their control. Deep in the Pentagon, General Cho watched as her best strategists, their minds expanded by the cosmic awakening, war game scenarios at impossible speeds. Holographic displays flickered with potential futures, each more devastating than the last. "We need to contain this," Cho muttered, turning to her aide. "Get me Foster." Jake Foster stood atop the ruins of a Guardian scout ship, his enhanced team salvaging its advanced technology. When Cho's call came through, he answered with a smirk. "Bit late for negotiations, isn't it, General?" Cho's holographic image flickered before him. "Foster, you need to stand down. We're on the brink of greatness," Foster interrupted. "For too long, we've been held back. No more." His eyes flared with power. "Humanity is taking its rightful place, and I'm leading the charge." As Foster ended the call, one of his team approached, holding a pulsing orb of energy. "Boss, we've cracked their FTL drive. We can leave Earth, take the fight to them." Foster grinned, reaching for the orb. "Perfect. Prepare for launch. The galaxy won't know what hit it." Back at the UN, alarms blared. Samantha rushed to a bank of monitors, her enhanced mind processing the data streams instantly. "No," she breathed. "They're attempting to leave Earth." The cosmic cube in her hands grew warm, images of possible futures flashing through her mind. She saw humanity spreading across the stars like a virus, rewriting the cosmos in their image. And behind it all, a darkness growing, feeding on the chaos. "We can't let them leave," she declared. "The cube, the failsafe, it can contain this, but I need time." As world leaders argued and panic spread, Samantha closed her eyes, focusing on the cube. She felt the weight of existence pressing down on her, the responsibility of every life in the universe. With a deep breath, she made her choice. Energy surged from the cube, racing along the network of structures across the globe. A shimmering barrier began to form around the planet, a containment field powered by the very energy of creation. Foster's ship, attempting to break orbit, slammed into the barrier. He snarled in frustration, pouring more power into the engines. "Break through," he commanded. "Nothing can stop us now." But the barrier held. On the ground, enhanced humans found their powers suddenly muted. The cosmic energy that had filled them was being drawn into the containment field, creating a delicate balance. Samantha opened her eyes, sweat beading on her forehead. "It's done," she announced to the stunned assembly. "We're contained, not just from leaving, but from our own excess. We have a chance to learn to grow without risking the rest of existence." As her words sank in, a new message arrived from the Guardian fleet. Samantha translated it, her enhanced mind decoding the complex language instantly. "They're acknowledging our choice," she said, a note of awe in her voice. "They're offering to help us understand our new reality, to guide us." For a moment, the world held its breath. Humanity stood at a crossroads, teetering between unrestrained power and responsible growth. In Antarctica, the ancient force that had begun to stir fell quiet once more, its awakening postponed by the activation of the failsafe. And in orbit, Jake Foster's ship hung motionless against the barrier, a stark reminder of the path not taken. As dawn broke over a changed Earth, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet, learning to wield the power of gods without losing their humanity in the process. Dr. Samantha Chen, the cosmic cube cradled in her hands, felt the weight of countless futures pressing down upon her. The real work, she knew, was just beginning. The age of unshackled human potential had dawned, and the universe watched with bated breath to see what would emerge from this crucible of cosmic power. Galactic powder keg. The containment field shimmered around Earth, a gossamer barrier between humanity and the vast expanse of space. For weeks, the world had teetered on the brink of chaos as people grappled with their newfound abilities. Now, an uneasy calm settled over the planet as the reality of their situation sank in. Dr. Samantha Chen stood before the United Nations Security Council, the cosmic cube pulsing gently in her hands. Her eyes, once brown, now swirled with the colors of distant nebulae. "The barrier is stable," she reported, her voice carrying an otherworldly resonance. "It's allowing normal space traffic and communications, but it's preventing any weaponized use of our new abilities beyond Earth's atmosphere." The Secretary General nodded gravely. "And the Guardians?" Samantha's gaze turned distant, as if looking beyond the walls of the chamber. There, waiting, watching. I sense both approval and apprehension from them. As the Council debated humanity's next move, alerts flashed across the chamber screens. Multiple unidentified objects had entered the solar system, approaching Earth at impossible speeds. It appears, Samantha said softly, that we're about to have company. High above the planet, beyond the shimmering barrier, space itself seemed to fold. Ships of various designs and origins emerge, their technology far beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. The newcomers hung back, just out of reach of Earth's conventional defenses. In capitals around the world, leaders watched with a mixture of awe and fear as the first transmissions from the alien armada came through. People of Earth, the message began, translated instantaneously by the awakened linguists at the UN. Your awakening has not gone unnoticed. We are the Galactic Conclave, and we've come to assess the situation. As diplomats scrambled to formulate a response, another crisis erupted. Jake Foster, his powers dampened, but his ambition unbridled, had managed to hack into global communication networks. His face, now adorned with glowing circuitry-like patterns, appeared on screens worldwide. "My fellow humans," he began, his voice dripping with charisma. "We're being contained, held back from our true potential. The cube is the key to our freedom. Join me, and together we'll claim our rightful place among the stars." Riots erupted in major cities as Foster's followers clashed with those who feared the consequences of unrestricted power. The barrier above flickered ominously, strained by the surging emotions and abilities of the population below. In orbit, the Guardian fleet shifted uneasily, weapons primed. The new arrivals from the Galactic Conclave moved closer, their intentions unclear. Earth had become a powder keg, and the fuse was burning short. Samantha, realizing the precariousness of their situation, made a bold decision. Using her enhanced abilities and the power of the cube, she opened a direct channel to all parties: the people of Earth, the Guardians, and the Galactic Conclave. "We stand at a crossroads," her voice echoed across the planet and into space. "Our awakening has changed everything, not just for us, but for the entire universe. We have the power to reshape reality itself. But with that power comes a responsibility we're only beginning to understand." As she spoke, images flowed from the cube, visible to all. They showed the history of the universe, the rise and fall of countless civilizations, and the delicate balance that held reality together. "The Earth is not just our home," Samantha continued. "It's a linchpin in the cosmic order. The power within us has the potential to unravel existence itself if misused." The images shifted, showing possible futures. In one, humanity spread across the stars like a plague, consuming and reshaping everything in its path. In another, Earth became a beacon of wisdom and progress, guiding younger races towards enlightenment. "We have a choice to make." Samantha's voice resonated with the weight of ages. "Do we rush headlong into the cosmos, risking everything in our quest for dominance? Or do we take the time to understand our place in the greater tapestry of existence?" As her words sank in, something unexpected happened. The cosmic cube began to pulse with increasing intensity, and a tremor ran through the Earth. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, the ancient force that had stirred earlier awakened fully. The ice cracked and heaved, revealing a massive structure unlike anything seen before. It rose into the sky, a tower of impossible geometries and pulsing energy. As it ascended, a wave of knowledge washed over every awakened human. Samantha gasped as the realization hit her. It's the other half of the key," she breathed. "Earth isn't just a vault or a failsafe. It's a seed." The tower pulsed once, twice, and then a beam of pure creation energy shot from its peak into space. It passed harmlessly through the containment barrier and split into multiple streams, each heading towards a different part of the galaxy. The Galactic Conclave ships recoiled in shock. The Guardians, however, moved closer, their posture changing from defensive to reverent. A new transmission came through, this time from the lead Guardian ship. The progenitor's plan comes to fruition. A voice intoned. Humanity, you are not just awakened. You are the awakeners. As confusion rippled through Earth's population, Samantha pieced together the cosmic knowledge flooding her mind. We're not the prisoners, she announced, her voice filled with wonder. We're the wardens, the gardeners, the parents of the next universal cycle. The implications were staggering. Earth, it seemed, was designed as a crucible to evolve a species capable of shepherding the very forces of creation. The power humans had awakened to wasn't just for them. It was meant to nurture and guide the entire cosmos. Jake Foster, watching from his hidden base, felt the weight of this revelation. His dreams of conquest suddenly seemed small, petty in the face of such cosmic responsibility. With a trembling hand, he opened a channel to Samantha. I was wrong, he admitted, his voice heavy with emotion. What do we do now? Samantha looked out at the assembled fleets, the watching eyes of humanity, and the pulsing cosmic engines of Earth. Now, she said, a smile playing on her lips, we learn, we grow, and when we're ready, we take our place as guardians of existence itself. The Galactic Conclave, witnessing this transformation, sent a new message. We came to judge, but instead, we find ourselves in awe. Earth is no longer a potential threat. It is the cradle of the universe's future. As the sun set on this new era, humanity stood united in purpose for the first time in its turbulent history. The containment barrier shimmered and faded, no longer needed. Earth's awakened population looked to the stars not with conquest in mind, but with a deep sense of responsibility and wonder. Samantha Chen, cradling the cosmic cube, felt the pulse of the universe flowing through her. The real journey, she realized, was just beginning. Humanity had been given the keys to creation, and their first task was to prove worthy of such a monumental gift. In the vast tapestry of the cosmos, Earth began to shine with a new light, a beacon of hope and potential, ready to guide the universe towards its next great adventure. Humanity's gambit. The Antarctic Tower pulsed with ethereal energy, its impossible geometries a stark reminder of humanity's new reality. Dr. Samantha Chen stood at its base, the cosmic cube humming in harmony with the colossal structure. Around her, a team of the world's brightest minds, now enhanced beyond imagination, worked tirelessly to unravel the secrets of their cosmic heritage. Dr. Chen, a young physicist, called out, her eyes glowing with equations. I think we found something. Samantha approached the holographic display, her mind instantly processing the complex data streams. It's a map, she breathed. A map of everything. The display expanded, filling the cavernous chamber with pinpricks of light. Each point represented not just a star or a galaxy, but entire dimensions, realities layered upon realities. And at the center of it all, pulsing in time with the cosmic cube, was Earth. We really are the linchpin, Samantha murmured, the weight of this knowledge settling heavily upon her. A sudden alarm shattered the moment of awe. Red warning lights flashed as sensors detected a massive energy surge approaching from the depths of space. High above, the combined fleets of the Guardians and the Galactic Conclave moved into defensive positions. A swirling vortex of darkness materialized at the edge of the solar system, and from it emerged a ship of impossible scale and nightmarish design. Threat detected, the Guardian's transmission crackled through the global network. Ancient One approaching. All forces, prepare for. The message cut off abruptly as a wave of null energy washed over the fleet, disabling ships from all factions indiscriminately. In the UN Security Council chamber, now transformed into a global crisis center, screens flickered to life. The face that appeared was both familiar and alien, Jake Foster, but changed almost beyond recognition. His eyes were black voids, and his voice resonated with eldritch power. I tried to warn you, he said, his words echoing with otherworldly harmonics. I've seen beyond the veil, tasted the true power waiting for us. Your cosmic responsibility is a cage. Let me show you real freedom. As Foster spoke, tendrils of darkness began to seep through the barrier around Earth, exploiting weaknesses created by the surging emotions of the population. Samantha's mind raced, processing possibilities at lightning speed. She turned to her team, her voice steady despite the looming threat. The cube, the tower, the map, they're all connected. Earth isn't just a seed, it's a reset switch for reality itself. Understanding dawned on the faces around her. One of the engineers spoke up, his voice tinged with fear. But using that kind of power, it could destroy everything, couldn't it? Samantha nodded gravely. Not just destroy. It could unmake existence as we know it. But it might be our only choice. As the team debated their options, reports flooded in from around the globe. The darkness seeping through the barrier was having a corrupting effect on awakened humans. People were losing control, their enhanced abilities warping into monstrous forms. In orbit, the disabled ships of the Guardians and a galactic conclave drifted helplessly as the Ancient One's vessel approached Earth. Its surface rippled with unknowable symbols, each one an affront to the laws of physics. Foster's voice boomed across the planet once more. Embrace the chaos. Let the old order crumble, and we'll build a new reality in our image. Samantha closed her eyes, reaching out with her enhanced senses. She could feel the fabric of space-time groaning under the strain of colliding cosmic forces. In that moment, she made her decision. Activate the tower, she commanded. Full power. As her team scrambled to comply, Samantha lifted the cosmic cube. Knowledge flooded her mind. The true history of the universe, the cyclical nature of existence, and humanity's pivotal role in it all. The Antarctic tower thrummed to life, its energy synchronizing with the cube in Samantha's hands. A beam of pure creation shot into the sky, parting the encroaching darkness like a curtain. Foster's ship shuddered as the beam struck it. No, his voice roared across the cosmos. You don't know what you're doing. But Samantha did know. With perfect clarity, she understood the choice before her. I'm sorry, Jake, she whispered. But sometimes, to save everything, you have to be willing to risk it all. With a final surge of will, Samantha Chen activated the cosmic reset. Reality itself seemed to hold its breath. For a moment that stretched into eternity, everything, every atom, every thought, every possibility, hung in perfect balance. Then, with a soundless explosion, the universe began to rewrite itself. Waves of creation energy washed over Earth, then spread outward at impossible speeds. The corrupting darkness was pushed back, dissolved into the raw potential of a renewing cosmos. As the waves reached Foster's ship, the Ancient One within howled in defiance, but its cries were lost in the symphony of a universe reborn. Samantha felt herself coming apart, her consciousness expanding to encompass the entirety of existence. She saw the cycle of creation playing out across eons, universes born, living, and dying, each one seeding the next with the potential for ever greater wonders. And through it all, she saw humanity's thread, not conquerors, not victims, but cultivators of cosmic gardens. Each cycle, they would sleep, evolve, awaken, and guide, before returning to slumber as the next iteration began. As the reset neared completion, Samantha made one final choice. With the infinite power at her disposal, she reached out to Jake Foster's fractured psyche, offering not condemnation, but understanding and a chance for redemption. In the last moments before the new reality solidified, she felt his acceptance. With a gasp, Samantha Chen opened her eyes. She found herself standing in the Antarctic chamber, the cosmic cube cool and inert in her hands. Around her, her team blinked in confusion, as if awakening from a dream. Did we do it? Someone asked. Before Samantha could answer, a new transmission came through. It was from the Guardian fleet, but the message was unlike anything they'd sent before. Awakeners, the voice said, filled with a mixture of awe and respect. You have passed the final test. Welcome to the cosmic community. As understanding dawned, Samantha felt a presence beside her. Jake Foster stood there, his eyes clear and human once more. "I remember everything," he said softly. "Thank you for not giving up on me." Samantha smiled, feeling the weight of cosmic responsibility settling comfortably on her shoulders. "We're in this together," she replied. "All of us." Outside, the Antarctic tower stood silent, its purpose fulfilled. The shimmering barrier around Earth faded away, no longer needed. In orbit, ships from 1,000 worlds appeared, not as conquerors or judges, but as equals ready to welcome humanity into a greater galactic family. As dawn broke over a world forever changed, Samantha Chen looked to the stars with new eyes. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. They were no longer just inhabitants of Earth, but guardians of existence itself. The cosmic odyssey that had begun with a warning now ended with an invitation. As emissaries from across the universe descended to Earth, humanity stood ready to take its first steps into a larger, more wondrous reality than they had ever imagined. In the vast tapestry of the cosmos, Earth shone brightly, not as a threat to be contained, but as a beacon of hope, wisdom, and limitless potential. The end, it seemed, was just the beginning.